Welcome back, warriors. Thank you for all your support, all your love, and all the shares. I really appreciate it. For those who are new to my channel, we talk about mental health related content. I'm all about ending the stigma, and I always hope that my videos will shine light and resonate with you and help you through any dark times. I'm all about us talking about mental health, and I'm really serious when it comes to these issues, so I never tolerate any disrespect or any ignorance. So all those comments will be deleted, but so far I haven't had any issues. It's only been nothing but support and love, and I really appreciate all of you for that. I'm not at all a licensed professional, so all of my videos are off of experience, off of my own life and what I've been through. So I always hope that my experiences are able to get you through whatever you may be facing. So definitely check out my past videos if any topics pop out at you, and like, share, and subscribe, and press the bell notification if you don't want to miss any future videos. So this video is going to be about the stigma against mental illness in the Latinx community. So for those who aren't aware of the Latinx term, it's basically a more gender inclusive term for Latino or Latina. So it was actually a term that I had to familiarize myself with because it was different for me. I think there's still some Latinx folks out there who are kind of don't really feel the term, and I had to get used to it. But honestly, as time moves forward, you know, time evolves, things, you know, society continues to evolve, right? So as time moves forward, so does vocabulary, so does changes, social changes. So I'm all about the changes, you know. I'm all about making people feel more comfortable, so I'm all about it. But basically, I just want to talk about mental illness in the Latinx community and how it's not something that's really talked about. So I grew up, I think honestly, depression has been something that I've dealt with since the age of, I don't know, 7. And I think it actually became an actual issue in my early teens. So honestly, depression was not, I didn't know it was a thing until I was diagnosed after my suicide attempt. So I was in denial for the longest time because in my head I was like, I ain't never heard this before. Why have I never heard of depression and anxiety before? You know, and it's because as a Latina, it was never talked about. It was always like, oh, you're not feeling well? Oh, okay, like maybe get off the couch and go do something, right? It was always like, yeah, I would go to my grandma and be like, oh, I'm tired, like I don't really feel good. And it wasn't necessarily that I felt sick, it's just I just felt like not motivated or not like wanting to do anything. And she would just be like, vos siempre con lo mismo. Anda, recoge una escoba allá y ya vas a ver que se te va a quitar. Anda a limpiar. And it was always that. It was like, go clean, you know, get over it. Like, you'll be fine. And I kind of, that was my way of dealing with it, was just brushing it off. Was like, okay, like, it is what it is. Keep it moving. I had to educate myself about mental health to be where I am now. I had to validate my own feelings for me to feel heard, because I didn't grow up hearing about it. You know, when I Googled depression and anxiety, it opened a whole new world for me that I was unaware of, because as a Latina, my community didn't talk about it, you know? So for me, it was really frustrating because I felt like I wasn't being heard. And I feel like it's getting better now. I've heard more about la salud mental now, but there's still so much work to be done. And I feel like that's what's led me to where I am now. You know, I hope that I'm able to create change in my community, in the communities of color, because this is not just a problem in the Latinx community, it's a problem in the Black community. There were many talks, what's it called, like groups that I went to back when I was in Suffolk. And yeah, all the college students would get together, and when they would have events, they would talk about that, you know, how mental illness wasn't really talked about in the Black community. And I sat there and I was like, wow, really? It's the same for you guys? Like, that's the same for us. Like, we don't talk about it. We're supposed to be strong. You know, if you're dealing with something, brush it off. You know, you have other responsibilities. Like, how dare you, you know, focus on yourself when there's so much to be done? That's selfish. You know, because we are meant to be family oriented. We are people who are supposed to put others before ourselves, you know. So I feel like as a Latina, I was raised to be like, you know, you need to be the perfect wife, the perfect mother. And I feel like it's the same for men. I feel like mental health is just as important, okay, for women as it is for men. I know there's probably a lot of men who don't see my videos, but I hope you do, because my videos are for both feminine and masculine, or for anyone who wants to watch my videos. Mental health affects all of us equally. Doesn't matter what gender. Man, we all have a brain, we all have emotions, we all go through shit. So therefore, all of this is relevant to everyone. But I feel like, especially men in the Latinx community, there's so much toxic masculinity where you need to keep it together. You cannot, being vulnerable makes you weak, makes you less of a man. And that's not true. That's not true. It's okay to take a step back. And it's okay to take care of you first. And I wish I had known that, and I wish someone had told me that, because I always felt like I had to be the strong one. As an older sister, as, you know, when I was the oldest, there's an age gap between my brother and I, but I always felt like I had to be strong. And I remember exactly when I was in the hospital, and my mom was like, you were supposed to be strong. You know, what happened? And that hurt, because I tried so hard to be so strong. And then I just couldn't anymore, and I broke. And I still get kind of choked up about it, because I feel like there's so many people out there who feel like they have to be so strong. That you have to, in order to be the perfect mother, father, you know, wife, husband, partner, friend. And you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to hold it together 24/7, because you are human and it's okay to have feelings. I know the traditional ways may have taught you otherwise, but if there's no healthy you, if you're not tending to yourself, how are you ever able to tend to others? And I feel like that's just such a toxic thing to show the community, you know, in which we are a part of, is to show, ingrain that in our minds at such a young age, that you're supposed to be strong. And I get it, because as Latinos, we're supposed to work hard, you know? If working hard is what gets you to the American dream. It's what makes you successful. And that is true. But at some point, you need to take a step back. At some point, you need to realize that you're just as important as those responsibilities around you. And if you are one of those people struggling, where you felt like you've never been heard, or where you felt like, you know, you've had to deny, sorry, that was just Todd being rude, where you've had to like deny your actual feelings because you feel like you're never going to be understood, just know that your feelings are valid. And taking a step back, tending to your emotions doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't. You can still be a strong ass Latino or Latina, and I hope that you know that that's the most important, because I know how hard it is to be a part of the community and feel like you're just not doing enough. So with that being said, I hope that you all recognize that you are worth it, that despite the traditional ways and despite the roles that we are supposed to fulfill, just know that you are a badass Latino, okay? And that I am sending all my love to the Latinx community, that together we can eliminate the stigma. Mwah.